The Keeper's Debt. The dawn broke over the moorlands, its pale light barely piercing the mists that coiled like ghostly serpents around the cairns and withered trees. Maeve, the herbalist of Blackmere, knelt beside her small cottage, harvesting bitterwort, a plant said to cure nightmares. Her movements were precise, the years of solitude etched into her weathered hands. Yet this morning felt different. The air was heavier, the silence unnatural. Her suspicions were confirmed when she turned and saw a cloaked figure standing on the edge of her garden. His face was obscured by the shadows of his hood, but Maeve could see the faint shimmer of a sigil etched into his forearm. "A sigil knight," she said, her voice calm though her heart quickened. "You don't belong here." "I do today," the man replied, his voice heavy with a burden too great to name. He stepped forward, revealing the scarred face of Eadric of Blackmere. His sword hung at his side, but it was his eyes, hollow, determined, that spoke of a battle yet to be fought. "You know the price of entering the moorlands," Maeve said, rising to her feet. "Few return, fewer still remain whole." "I have no choice," Eadric replied. "The Gilded Wraiths have taken the village of Fallow Vale. They must be stopped before they reach Alban's Reach." Maeve's brow furrowed. The Wraiths do not yield to steel or flame. They are the curse of Ebonirath, spirits of greed bound by the dragon's will. What hope do you have against them? Eadric reached into his cloak and drew forth a small vial. Its contents glowed faintly, a golden liquid that seemed to pulsate with life. Maeve's breath caught. "Dragon's blood," she whispered, the words tasting of both reverence and fear. "Where did you find it?" "It was given to me by the custodian of Gildmere," Eadric said. "He called it a weapon against greed, though he did not speak of the cost." Maeve's lips tightened. "Because the cost is your soul." The Gilded Wraiths had once been kings and nobles consumed by their own avarice. When Ebonirath's power swept through Albion, their greed bound them to the dragon's will. In death, they became spectral entities, haunting those who dared to hoard wealth or wield power unjustly. Their golden forms shimmered like molten sunlight, but their eyes were hollow, their voices a cacophony of torment. Eadric knew the Wraiths were unstoppable to ordinary men. They could not be slain, only banished by a force greater than the greed that sustained them. The dragon's blood was that force, but it came with a dire price. Maeve hesitated, but finally nodded. "You'll need more than the blood if you're to face the Wraiths. Wait here." She disappeared into her cottage, returning with a bundle wrapped in crimson cloth. Inside was a blade unlike any Eadric had seen. Its edge was jagged, and the metal pulsed faintly, as if alive. "This is Baneclaw," Maeve said, "forged from the shards of a fallen dragon's talon. It will not destroy the Wraiths, but it will slow them long enough for the blood to work." Eadric accepted the weapon with a solemn nod. "Thank you." "You'll also need this," Maeve said, handing him a pendant of twisted silver. "A charm against possession. The Wraiths will try to claim your soul. And if they succeed..." Maeve looked at him with a sadness that needed no words. He would not return. Fallow Vale was a ghost town. Its once bustling streets were silent, its homes abandoned. The only sound was the faint clinking of chains. As Eadric entered the village square, he saw them, the Gilded Wraiths. There were 5 of them, their forms glimmering like liquid gold under the pale sunlight. They turned as one to face Eadric, their hollow eyes glowing faintly. One stepped forward, a spectral crown hovering above its head. "You come to defy us, Slayer," the Wraith hissed. Its voice echoed, sharp and discordant. "We are bound by greed eternal. What can one man do?" Eadric drew Baneclaw. The Wraiths recoiled slightly, their golden forms flickering. "I bring more than steel," he said. Without hesitation, he hurled the vial of dragon's blood to the ground. The glass shattered, and the golden liquid spread like fire, its light consuming the square. The Wraiths screamed, their forms writhing as if burned. Eadric rushed forward, Baneclaw slashing through the air. The blade struck the lead Wraith, and its form flickered violently, the spectral chains around it shattering. The others surged toward him, their movements erratic but deadly. Eadric fought with everything he had, his sword an extension of his will. The dragon's blood burned brighter and the wraiths began to weaken, their forms collapsing into golden ash. But the light did not stop there. It spread to Eadric, searing into his flesh, reaching for his soul. Eadric fell to his knees, his vision blurring. He could feel the dragon's blood tearing at him, demanding a price. His greed, his guilt, his desire for redemption. They all became weights, dragging him into the abyss. "No," he growled, his grip tightening on Baneclaw. "You will not take me." The charm Maeve had given him glowed faintly, a final defense against the blood's pull. Eadric closed his eyes, forcing himself to focus not on his failure but on his purpose. He had not come for glory. He had come to protect Albion. With a roar, he drove Baneclaw into the ground, anchoring himself to the earth. The light of the dragon's blood dimmed, its energy dissipating into the air. The wraiths were gone, their curse broken, but Eadric remained. When Eadric returned to Maeve's cottage, his steps were heavy, his face pale. Maeve opened the door, her expression a mix of relief and sorrow. "You survived," she said. "Barely," Eadric replied, his voice hoarse. "The blood is gone, the wraiths are banished, but the weight, it remains." Maeve nodded. "The price of sacrifice is never fully paid." Eadric placed Baneclaw on her table. "Keep this. I'll not need it where I'm going." "And where is that?" Maeve asked. Eadric's eyes turned toward the horizon where the distant spires of Albin's Reach glimmered. "To face the next dragon." In the mists of the moorlands, a faint glow lingered where the dragon's blood had burned. Some say it was the soul of Eadric, fractured but unbroken, watching over Albion even as he continued his lonely quest. For the dragons of Albion were many, and the Sigil Knight's duty was never done.